hit that subscribe button, guys, for the latest in boxing. So I actually got a new microphone. I invested in a new microphone, so I hope you guys can tell the quality difference. Please let me know in the comment section if the quality is better, because I wanted to have better audio quality for my subscribers. So yeah, please let me know. I would really appreciate it. So the WBA has ordered Anthony Joshua to face Alexander Povetkin, and apparently they have only 30 days to negotiate a fight, to schedule a fight to happen. As you know, AJ holds the WBA heavyweight champion of the world. He has the championship, WBA championship, and the mandatory is Alexander Povetkin. So he is obligated to fight and defend his belt against his mandatories. Now, the only way they could bypass this mandatory obligation of AJ is if he fights Deontay Wilder for unification. I personally don't think that's going to happen. I just don't. I don't see any hope of that fight happening this year. I don't want to sound negative, but I have a big feeling that fight's not going to happen this year. So I have a big feeling that AJ will actually fight Povetkin next. Now, after Povetkin beat David Price, Dillian White called him out, and people were talking about, well, maybe Dillian White could fight, Povetkin, but I never made a video about that because I always knew that Alexander Povetkin was, a mandatory for Anthony Joshua. So why would he fight Dillian White and risk losing to Dillian White to fight Anthony Joshua? And I read an article, last night that Alexander Povetkin was saying that he's not interested in fighting Dillian White. He's interested in fighting AJ, because why would he fight Dillian White, make less money, and possibly lose to Dillian White while he can make a lot of money and fight Anthony Joshua? It just doesn't make no sense if he fought Dillian White for less money, and let's say he loses to Dillian White, and then he fucks up his mandatory position, and it had his age at 38 years old. He's not looking to that this is like his final chance. Now, how do I think that fight personally plays out? I think this is an interesting fight. I actually was looking forward to, I was hoping that AJ fought Povetkin. I was also hoping that Dillian White fought Povetkin, because I think stylistically Povetkin and Dillian White is actually a really interesting fight. I personally think it's an interesting fight because style-wise, Povetkin is all up in fighters' grills. He throws a lot of hooks. Dillian White likes to fight toe-to-toe. So I just think style-wise, that would have been a barn burner. And I actually would have been happy to see that fight. I would have given Dillian White a lot of credit. But it seems that the IBF is ordering Dillian White versus Kurat Pulev, which is, in my opinion, an interesting fight as well. But I personally got Dillian White winning that fight. Although Kurat Pulev, he does have some boxing ability, but I personally think Dillian White wins. Now, when it comes to AJ versus Povetkin, I think that style-wise, it's an interesting fight. I personally don't think that Povetkin is in his prime anymore. I think Povetkin, it's proof that Povetkin was on steroids, and he's off steroids now. So I thought it was evidence when he fought David Price, the other weekend. I thought it was evidence that he didn't look that, in my opinion, great in that fight. I thought he was exhausted. He got tired. The fight only lasted 5 rounds, but look at how tired Povetkin was after, 4 rounds. And if you guys remember, the drug that he was caught with was a stamina type of drug that increases your stamina. So you take away that, he's not on those PEDs anymore. So you take away that, now he's going to be gassing out earlier, and that's not what you want to be doing against Anthony Joshua. I think when it comes to skill for skill, I think that if Povetkin is going to win this fight, he's going to have to hurt Joshua, because I don't think Povetkin is a come forward aggressive fighter. He's not a guy that boxes. He's a short heavyweight. He's about 6 feet tall, and he's a guy who throws a lot of hooks. He's going to be coming forward, so he's going to have to fight that way. And if he fights that way against AJ, I think that's actually a good thing, because I think that's the only way he's going to win. He's not going to outbox AJ. I think he should be coming forward against AJ and throwing those hooks. But with him coming forward, he's also going to give Anthony Joshua the opportunity to land his own combinations. For example, uppercuts. I think Anthony Joshua is really good at throwing uppercuts. He was trying to land uppercuts on Joseph Parker. The only thing that will ruin that fight for Povetkin is if they got the same referee that refereed the Joseph Parker fight, because that referee was not allowing them to fight on the inside. But if they get a referee that allows them to fight on the inside, I think it'll be an interesting fight, especially when it gets on the inside, because that's when Povetkin is going to be letting his combinations go, and that's also when AJ is going to be letting his uppercuts go. I'm definitely leaning towards Joshua if he fights him, because he's the younger dude. He's, in my opinion, the stronger fighter, much taller fighter. And like I said in the past, I think Povetkin's past his prime. I think when he's off the juice, he's not as potent as he is when he's with the juice. Because when he was on steroids, he was knocking everybody out cold. I know he just knocked out David Price, but David Price has no chin. And we all knew he was going to get knocked out by Povetkin. So let's not say, well, look at him without steroids, he knocked out David Price. David Price has a glass chin, so we all knew that was going to happen. But when it comes to, so yeah, I don't think that without the PEDs, I don't think he's as vicious as he is with the PEDs, and also I don't think he has the same endurance. With the PEDs, he could go 12 rounds, but in my opinion, without it, he gasses out. So I think if this fight goes past 6 rounds, and you're gonna see Povetkin start gassing out, and that's when you're gonna see AJ put on the pressure and really beat the crap out of Povetkin, in my opinion. So yeah, I think that Povetkin is a little past his prime, but I still think it's an interesting fight. And I don't think that Povetkin, maybe some people might feel Povetkin ducked Dillian White. Like I said, I don't think it's a thing where he ducked Dillian White. I just think that he's being smart. Why would he risk fighting Dillian White, getting paid less money, than unifying with, and possibly losing, than unifying with, facing Joshua, getting more money, getting paid more money, and possibly winning, becoming a unified champion. So, what's the smarter move? Fighting Dillian White for no belt, and possibly losing, getting less money, or fighting AJ and fighting a unified champion? That's the smarter route, in my opinion. But still, like I said, I think he's gonna lose. Although I think it's an interesting fight, I think Povetkin is. I think his time was, back in 2007, 2013. Back then, I think it's a new generation now, and I think Dillian White. I think Anthony Joshua has what it takes to beat someone like Povetkin. Povetkin's a short heavyweight. He's going to be coming in with his head low, throwing hooks, and that's going to leave him open to uppercuts. Matter of fact, I have a big feeling he'll get knocked out by an uppercut, because Povetkin's very hittable. He's very hittable. Even in his prime, he was getting hit cleanly. And when it comes to Povetkin, I think you could manhandle him if you put your size on him. Klitschko was manhandling Povetkin, And I think if AJ wanted to, he would probably be able to do that. This is just my personal opinion. But yeah, I'm not trying to be negative, but I don't think that that AJ will fight Wilder next. Whether it's Wilder's fault, whether it's AJ's fault, these big fights don't seem like it's ever gonna happen. So we're probably gonna expect AJ versus Povetkin next. Good fight, but I'm leaning towards AJ. I think he's the better talent. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think of this video. Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys think that AJ is going to beat Povetkin? Or maybe you guys don't agree with me. Maybe you guys think that Povetkin is a bigger threat than I think he is. And maybe you guys think that Povetkin can actually beat AJ. Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys think that he's not the same without the PEDs? And don't come at me saying, well, why are you accusing Povetkin of being on PEDs? Because he was caught twice with PEDs, and he admitted himself that he took PEDs. He admitted himself that he took performance enhancement drugs. So don't come at me telling me that he wasn't on PEDs when he admitted out of his own mouth. So he is a drug cheat, Povetkin. Anyway, guys, let me know your guys' opinions, and as always, subscribe for daily boxing videos. I'm out.